Good evening. My name is Reverend Michael McMorrow. I'm the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills. I'd like to welcome you to our online YouTube version of our Wednesday night healing meditation service. And so I would invite you to join me in our opening ritual as I ask my buddy Mike here. So, say hello, Mike. Michael Carlin is our helper this evening. All right, so we're just all going to take a deep conscious breath together and release and allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Mike lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The second candle we light for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center, online, and in our heart. And as Mike lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love. So again, taking a deep conscious breath together, And release. And in that release, we are surrendering to the one power, the one presence, the one source of all life, the living intelligence. This power and presence is the very essence of the living Spirit itself, impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as this manifest life, in, through, and as all that we are. So in this way, we are allowing ourselves to consider and surrender to the idea that we are an emanation of the divine itself. Whereas by definition, there is no spot where God is not. So right where I sit is the seat of the soul, is where the Spirit dwells. And so from this place of knowing our oneness with the divine and knowing our oneness with each other, that I know for each one of us tonight that we are opening our hearts and opening our mind to the deepest levels of healing and experience through this meditation here tonight of the living Spirit, the living intelligence itself. And so in this way, we know that in this moment all is well, that we allow ourselves to surrender into the safety of the divine bosom itself. And so for this intention, and for the intentions of anyone listening either now or later, we are knowing that these intentions are resonating within the divine ear that knows our thought before we utter the words. So we take a deep breath and just release that, knowing that we are releasing it to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself that knows only to say, yes, it is done. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is, amen. So thank you for joining us online here tonight. We'll be doing this through this expression known as the coronavirus safer at home. And I just want to express my gratitude to Mike as we practice social distancing. He's actually probably 30 feet away. But also to Ken and Jason, who are coming in on Sundays, and Reverend Nancy Woods, as we practice our social distancing, so that we can still come together, even online, in this online way. But to know that the Spirit is not bound by the physical, and so we're just going to know together, whether it's this evening in this meditation or on Sunday mornings, that we are all of one heart, and that we are just expecting, living in joyous expectation of when we can all be physically together again. And so tonight I wanted to share with you something that Reverend Dr. Harry Morgan Moses actually posted on our ministers' listserv. It's entitled, "The Friend That Is Within You." And it's written by Ernest Holmes. And Dr. Harry adapted it to make it gender neutral, I guess, gender friendly. I'm not sure what the term is. But I appreciate what he did. So it's going to take a few minutes to read. And so I would just invite you to, again, let's just take a deep breath and release. And I'm just going to share this with you and read it to you. So, the friend that is within you. The I am presence within you is closer than your shadow. This friend anticipates your every desire, knows your every need, and governs your every act. This I am presence is the God within your own soul, the animating presence projecting your personality, which is a unique individualization of the living Spirit. This I am, this friend within you, is infinite, since it is a personification of God. This I am is not limited by previous experiences which you may have had, by present conditions or passing situations. The I am that I am has no inherited tendencies of evil, lack, or limitation. It has never been caught in a mesh of circumstance. The I am is at all times radiant, free, happy. So let's just take a moment and just put our hand over our heart and just say this affirmation. I am radiant, free, happy. Let's do that together now. I am radiant, free, and happy. Let's breathe that in. To your intellect, this invisible friend may seem to be someone else, not your real self, but such is not the case. Some have believed that this friend within you is a mediator between you and the creative spirit. Others have believed this I am to be the reincarnation or rebirth of your previous self, while others have believed it to be some discarnate soul. But you are not to accept such beliefs, for the real person within you is a direct personification of the universal spirit. This I am, that I am, is your inner, absolute, and perfect self. So let's hold our hands over our heart. The I am that I am is my inner, absolute, perfect self. Together. This I am that I am is my inner, absolute, and perfect self. Breathing in. This friend within you, this I am presence within you is different from all other persons, yet it is united with all. There is some part of you which reaches into the nature of others irresistibly, drawing them to you and drawing you to them, binding all together in one complete unity. Right now, you are one with all persons, all places, all events. This friend, this presence within you lives in a state of poise. The I am presence is above fear. I am is beyond hurt. I am is sufficient unto itself. This friend, this presence within you is continuously looking after your well-being. This I am presence within you always wishes you to be happy, to be well, to be radiant. Being the very fountain of your life, this friend is a luminous presence evermore emerging from pure spirit, evermore expanding your consciousness. This I am is the high counselor, the eternal guide. It is your intellect, the essence of its understanding, the nicety of its calculation, the appreciation of its temperament. There can be no greater unity than exists between you and this inner friend. It spreads a table before you. In the wilderness of human thought, its cup of joy runneth over. It laughs at disaster, triumphs over human failure, and mocks the grave. When this present experience shall be rolled up like a scroll, the I am that I am will pass on to new and greater experiences. But today, it is here. Trust this presence, this friend today, and you may trust it, may trust in it for all of tomorrows yet to come. Thus your tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow will be but an expansion of your endless today. Your personality is an outpicturing of the impressions you have received from this inner friend, this deep personality, this radiant and divine presence whose life is light, whose consciousness is peace, and whose presence is power. You are an incarnation of this divine. I am this power, this presence, this person. Let's put our hand over our heart, take a deep breath. I am this person, this presence, and this power together. I am this person, this presence, and this power. Now, it may be difficult for you to believe there is such a friend, but this presence is there at the very center of your being, directing your thought and causing you to triumph over every defeat. For it is an unconquerable hero. The I am that I am keeps silent watch within, keeps silent watch within you, lifts your consciousness to the realization that you are forever protected, forever safe, forever perfect. Take it, holding our hand over our heart, taking a deep breath, releasing. I am forever protected, forever safe, forever perfect. Together, I am forever safe, forever protected, forever perfect. And so it is. So that comes from Ernest Holmes. If you would like a copy of that, you can email me. My email address is revmike, as in Rev, revmike at cslgh.org. Be happy to send that on to you. If you happen to be in the Power of 8 groups, I'll be sending that around tomorrow. Because I think even though it takes a few minutes to do, it has a lot of great affirmations in it, doesn't it? And so tonight I thought for our healing meditation, I thought we would just get in touch with this friend within, the living presence itself, which of course is however you know that to be, yes? And of course we know that whatever it is that we think God is, right? It is way more than even that. And so we can, this is one of those wondrous relationships where we can not only cultivate a relationship with the divine, but it is something that it evolves and it grows in insight and understanding. And sometimes, even as we have in our human relationships, sometimes there can sometimes be a distancing. And if that's what you have been experiencing, then this is the perfect time for you and I to come together and just allow ourselves this time to create some space and to reconnect with the sacred, the friend within. So, let's take a deep conscious breath together. And just release. Get out our wiggles and jiggles. So I like to have my feet planted firmly on the ground, but that's if I'm not on the cushion, but sitting in a chair. So the first thing I do is just check my posture within the seat, so my sit bones tighten to the chair. Allow my back to be supported by the chair, and then to sit erect, free of tension, but balanced over my sit bones, and the head balanced over that. So the head weighs. They say the head weighs 14 pounds. If you're Irish, it may be 16.5. But the idea is to keep it balanced over your sit bones, right? Okay. So we're going to start by just taking a deep conscious breath together. Just release that. And in that release, we're releasing the cares of the day, the worldly clamors, the graphics of flattening curves, and we're just surrendering to this moment. And in this moment, all is well. And so we're going to begin by following the breath. And so what this means is we are bringing our attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril. So this may feel like pressure, temperature, doesn't matter. But as you work with it, you'll see that the mind will begin to still. And thoughts then that may have been a jumble kind of even out. And this is where we'll work. Following the breath. And we'll just do a quick body scan, starting from the feet. So holding our attention to the movement in the breath and the nostril, and to the bottom of the feet simultaneously. How about that? And then we just gently, methodically do a scan, starting from the bottom of the feet to the top of the foot, up the ankle, back of the calf, the shin into the knee. Now, sometimes we can torque the knee a little bit, so just See if you're doing that. If you are, just make an adjustment. And again, take a deep breath. And to release. So if you've ever wondered what breathe into it means in meditation or yoga, that's what they're speaking to. To the hamstrings, quads, the belly just rises and falls easily. And again to the sit bones, just allowing them to be the anchor to the lower back. Well, sometimes we can have tension in there. If that's what you are experiencing, you can just tuck your tailbone in a little bit and that will release it. And then bring your attention to your lower back against the chair itself. See if that's not more comfortable. Up the spine. Still straight and erect, free of tension, the belly rising and falling easily. Again, the attention to the breath. So if that's available to you, see if you can detect the movement of the breath on your upper lip. Any tension in the tongue, sometimes we can have tension up on the roof of the mouth, releasing that. Chin back. After days on the or hours on the computer, we have a tendency to lean forward. Just lean back, and again, we're balanced over the sit bones. Monitoring the breath. So we're going to go into the silence here in a moment. So we're going to stay with the breath. And consider our sacred friend within. Not fantasizing or scheming, just really knowing this indwelling presence is within. By focusing on the breath. After a little bit, you may notice a sensation between the eyebrows, sometimes called the third eye. And experienced meditators may detect a sensation on the crown of the head even. But we won't be sitting more than 20 minutes tops. Sacred friend within. So we're going to take another deep breath, and then we're going to hold it at the top. And then on the release, we're just going to allow the neck to lengthen, shoulders to drop for our final relaxation before we go into, looks like 15 to 20 minutes meditation I'll keep track of time for you. All right, so take a deep conscious breath. Hold it. Release. Feel that release as we move into the silence now with our sacred friend within, following the breath. And Mike will bring up our oming bros. So this friend within dwells within the heart center itself. So let's just see that flame of divinity within our very heart. And now with each in-breath, we're going to fan that flame. Again, just breathing easily and naturally. Breathing in light. Exhaling love. And on each exhale, that light within is growing in intensity, in radiance and brilliance. So now it's a fire right in the very center of our heart center, a fire of light and love. Opening up our chest, opening up our heart, expanding even more with each exhale. So then this light is now a globe extending beyond the torso, side to side, front to back, top to bottom. And now we're sitting in this field of light and love. Breathing in light, exhaling love. Till the very room that we're all sitting in, and the sanctuary itself is illumined with this field of light and love. And so it is from in this space, in this field of love and this field of light, feeling our oneness with the Holy Friend, we recognize and know our individualized expression as the one Spirit. And from this place of conscious unity with the one, we bring our cares and concerns, our intentions, our immunity system. And then we take a deep breath. As we know together in this conscious unity in the one, we know and recognize and know that there is only one thing going on here, one power, one presence, one source, one life, one living intelligence, one infinite heart, one source of all. This power, this presence is that which we know to be the divine, each within our own way. And so in this moment, recognizing our oneness, both with the divine and in this way, our oneness with each other, we know that there is that within us that has never been violated in any way. It is the seat of the divine within, and that within that is this pattern of perfection expressing at the deepest levels of our being, expressing as the perfection that God is. And so in this way, we are allowing ourselves to align with the eternal Om, the eternal song of the universe itself, the Holy Spirit, the Atman, the Buddha mind, Yahweh, Christ consciousness, higher power, the old one, or the most ancient name of God itself, love. So in this way we are knowing at the very molecular level of our being that we are aligning with and vibrating as the infinite love of the divine itself, that every molecule, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every bone, every sinew, every tendon, our circulatory system, our lymphatic system, endocrine system, that all of it is aligning with the pattern of perfection at a molecular level, aligning with and resonating as this perfection in this moment. That even the neurons, every wrinkle of our cortex is illumined with the very light of the divine. And so in this way, our heart is open, that we are expressing equanimity and compassion for ourselves, for those around us, that we are knowing this vibration of radiant good health is expressing as our body temple. And in this knowing, we are knowing this for our loved ones within our most intimate circles, for those with whom we work, for our neighbors, our neighborhood, our spiritual communities, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, all of the United States, North America, the Western Hemisphere, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia. We're just knowing all is expressing as radiant good health. That in this way, in this community, this meditation community that we are experiencing in this field of mind, that we are knowing radiant good health for all. That we are knowing that there is within all of it an immunity that is strengthening the body temple even now. That our bodies are radiating the light and power of radiant good health that is thwarting anything unlike itself. That any idea of pathogen is simply dissolved and expelled gently and easily, without care or concern as to how. That we know that our mind is open to new and creative avenues of thought that bring to us solutions for any of the cares and concerns that we may have about our personal life, about our career, that we know that we live, move, and have our being in the divine flow of life itself, and that we are surrendering this life now to the perfection of this divine flow, that our relationships are connected, are loving, harmonious, peaceful, that our ways of communication are respectful and communicate at the deepest levels of experience. And so we take a deep conscious breath, and in that release, just know that we are releasing all of it to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself, knowing that there is nothing to do, only to release. And in this way, we know that as we hit the pillow tonight, we drift off to sleep easily and effortlessly. We sleep deeply, restfully, dreaming sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling rested and revitalized, full of vim and vigor and excitement to express the life of the divine as our life throughout the day. So knowing this, then we take another deep breath. And in that release, we consider the many blessings that we have. Food in the fridge, a place to lay our head, plenty of toilet paper. All of our cares and concerns are met, that we live in an abundant universe, and our needs are met easily and in good order. So in this way, we release all of it now. One more time, taking a deep breath. I just release all of it to the living Spirit where the work is done, knowing that in that release it is done. It is complete. So we just release it now. Let it go. Allow it to be so. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So thank you for joining me this evening. We'll be doing this, as I said, every Wednesday night until this business is finished and complete. You can join us this Sunday at 10:25 with myself and Ken and Mike and friends and Reverend Nancy for our Sunday service where I'm sure I'll have something worth tuning into to say, and certainly it will be a joyous expression for us here to share with you out there, and together we can have this wonderful co-creative experience of the Spirit expressing as our life individually and together. For by staying away, by being safe at home, we are building immunity in our spiritual community and for the greater world as well. So until then, peace and blessings. Know that you walk with the Spirit itself. And I will see you tomorrow on Facebook at noon if you're around. So long now. Good evening. Bye now. Sweet dreams.